Hi, I'm Mike from Moto IQ, and today we're going to talk about performance bushings. Now, if you have a performance car, it's set up to handle good. Bushings are one of the things you should consider probably right after coilovers and sway bars. The reason for this is when you get sticky tires, good firm coilovers, and good anti-sway bars, your cornering loads go way up. When you do this, you're probably braking harder and gassing it harder. All of these things put a lot of torque on the suspension, and the suspension moves around. You might want to know why this is bad. A lot of it's because the alignment and everything changes drastically with bushing deflection. I guess an example that you might be familiar with is if you ever see a car on the dyno, when the car is doing a dyno pull with stock bushings, you can literally see the wheel move as the engine torque goes up. I mean, it's not uncommon to see the wheels move a couple of inches, and then you can see the toe and camber change as the engine winds up. And this is on the dyno. It's even worse when you're actually on the track or on the road and putting a lot of load on your suspension. You know, the torque and cornering loading and braking loading, everything's moving around. I mean, it's not uncommon to move a couple of inches, and having your camber changed as much as a degree and your toe change half an inch or even more sometimes. I'm not even kidding. I mean, if you put a GoPro on your wheel and see what it's doing under load, you'll know what I mean. So all of this moving and flexing causes a couple of different things. It makes your alignment not hold, so your tire positioning on the road is not good. So all the negative camber you put to maintain your contact patch, that's getting nullified. Your toe changes to make the car turn in better or to be more stable, that's getting nullified too. You know, like if you're driving on the track and you probably notice a lot of twitchiness and mushiness in the car's response, and you have all good other parts, I'm practically sure that in most cases it's your bushings. Performance bushings are a lot stiffer than your OEM bushings. OEM bushings are made out of rubber. Manufacturers do this to prevent NVH. That's what us engineers call noise, vibration, and harshness. NVH is the transmission of vibration from the road surface, from the tires and everything into the cabin, and you feel that as noise, impact harshness. When you hit sharp edge bumps, you feel it. The rubber bushings kind of damp that out. That's all good, but if you're a performance driver, that's not good. When you look at your stock bushings, they have a lot of engineered in compliance, like big empty spaces where everything's free to move, really soft rubbers, like a really low durometer. Durometer is engineering talk for hardness. So like your standard rubber bushing, your durometer is about 50 to 60. The more, the harder, the lower the number, the softer. Now when you get a performance bushing, the durometer can be anywhere from 70 to 100, depending on what you're doing. Now I'm going to talk about all different kinds of bushings. What we have on the table here are Whiteline bushings. And before, there's always some of you that are sour and you go, oh, your video is just a commercial for Whiteline. Well, I really believe in Whiteline. It's one of my favorite bushings to use, and I'm going to get into it here. Whiteline has a lot of features that your typical replacement bushings don't have. When you're looking at all these bushings, Whiteline bushings are mostly made out of polyurethane. Polyurethane is a thermoplastic. It's a lot harder than rubber. Like its durometer usually ranges from about 70 to 90. That's a bit harder than rubber. Some bushings on the market, especially ones that are made by OEMs, like some Nismo bushings, some TRD bushings, some Mugen bushings, are made out of special hard rubber. That's pretty good also, but Whitelines are generally all urethane. It's really abrasion resistant, it's firm, it doesn't degrade in the environment. Whiteline's urethane formulation I really like because it has a lot of resiliency. A lot of urethanes on the market have a problem, what us engineers call compression set. So if you have a off-axis load, like you do in suspension sometimes, the urethane will mush, and then as the suspension articulates, it won't return to its original state. So the bushings start to develop play from compression set. Whiteline's urethane, I don't know the chemistry about it or anything, but what I've noticed is it develops a lot less compression set than any of the other bushings I've used. So they don't develop play, and they last a lot longer. There's several other advantages too. Whiteline takes into account if the bushing needs to move in more than 1 degree of freedom. So here's a bushing that moves in 1 degree of freedom. It's solid, it has no compliance in any direction particularly, and it's great for if the suspension just rotates like this. But a lot of times in suspension, particularly multi-link, the bushing needs to articulate in 2 to 3 degrees of freedom. That means it has to pivot and go in and out as the suspension goes through its stroke. So if you replaced all the bushings with a solid bushing with 1 degree of freedom like this, basically you're getting the linkage and you're creating a structure. In layman's terms, what you're doing is making a rigid structure that binds and doesn't move. If you don't have the compliance in the right direction, basically you're bending everything to make the suspension move. So you're bending your control arms, putting a lot of stress on the chassis, and generally tweaking everything. Also, the bind upsets your spring rate and all that. It's a uncontrolled, unmeasured spring. So that can affect your oversteer, understeer balance and make the car really bad on bumps. Some bushings like this, they have actually a insert inside the urethane that rotates in all 3 axes, so it has 3 degrees of freedom, so you don't get bind. Other Whiteline bushings have controlled voids or holes in certain areas to allow the articulation of the suspension. Now, I don't see that too often in other aftermarket bushings. Whiteline's not the only one that does it, but I think they have the widest applications where they do that stuff. Another reason why I like Whiteline so much is they have a wide range of applications. If you have any sort of a performance car, generally Whiteline will make a bushing kit for it. There's other companies, and they only have maybe particular bushings for a particular make or model of car. Whiteline has coverage of almost the whole market. So any of our project cars, we've had no problem getting Whiteline bushings for. Let me get into some of the features of a Whiteline bushing. I guess the first level of a Whiteline has, now they're not the only ones that do it, but they make inserts. Now these are inserts that go into your stock bushing. This is for a transmission mount. This is for a motor mount. And these are for a cross member. Now, the advantages of the inserts is they're very easy to install. You don't have to press anything out. You don't have to burn out a bushing or anything to get the old one out. They merely slip in and fill the voids of your stock bushings. The advantages of this is if you're not like building an all-out race car, you have the firm urethane taking up the hollow areas and getting rid of at least half of the compliance of the bushing or mount, but you still have the OEM rubber, so you still have some of the characteristics of vibration absorption and noise attenuation and less harshness. So it's kind of like the best of 2 worlds. So if you have a mild street car, I think inserts are a way to go. Also, Whiteline has more solid bushings. Now this is a cross-member bushing. It's solid urethane, and it completely replaces the stock rubber cross-member bushing. Now it's in 2 pieces, so it's easy to install. And it does have some engineered give in it. That's the holes around the periphery here. This isn't as noisy and harsh as a solid aluminum bushing, for instance, like they make for some cross members, but it is a lot stiffer and less compliant than an insert. Now, when you put these in your motor mounts and cross members, what you get is under engine torque and braking, you don't have so much play. I mean, some of these cross member mounts, you know, I've seen them where the cross member moves around over an inch under load. Like the GD Subaru WRX STI does it. It literally moves about an inch. And that plays havoc with your handling precision. You get wheel hop and all that from everything winding up. So these mounts totally take care of it. And the inserts, you know, take care of probably about 2/3 of it. The solid mounts get rid of about all of it. I have these on my STI, but I literally couldn't hardly tell the difference over stock, vibration and noise-wise from running these solid bushings versus the inserts. But this really cleans up the handling by making that cross member not move. Another reason why I like Whiteline is a lot of their bushings correct geometry problems that the stock suspension has. For instance, this is an anti-lift bushing kit for my Subaru. This is, I think, a GD STI. What it does is it actually moves the lower pivot point of the front lower control arm. So it gets rid of anti-lift geometry, and it also gets rid of anti-dive geometry. So if you have a pretty powerful STI, you probably know what I mean. If you jump on it, the front of the car rears up, and then you start getting front wheel spin and you lose traction. Well, this prevents the front of the car from rearing up like that and keeps the front wheels planted. Also, if you have like a lot of anti-dive geometry and you have good suspension, like if you're trail braking into a turn, the anti-dive will like bind up the front suspension, so the front suspension becomes less compliant. It also increases your front wheel rate, and you're trail braking to transfer more weight to the front to kind of keep the car out of understeer. But when you have a lot of anti-dive, the suspension gets stiffer relatively, and it actually tends to understeer more that way. So this actually gets rid of the anti-dive and anti-lift while reducing compliance in the bushing, and also it kicks it out further outboard, so you pick up more positive caster. Positive caster gives you more straight line stability, and also as you turn the wheel kind of flops over and you get more negative camber on your highly loaded outside wheel. So you get more negative camber as you turn. So you get better wheel centering, better stability, better turn-in, and better grip by adding a little more caster. So you correct the geometry and you get a less compliant front bushing. Now other Whiteline bushings do that too. Like you see, this is an eccentric insert bushing from another car. This does the same thing. It gets rid of the tendency to lift and gets rid of the anti-dive and gives you more caster. This bushing that I talked about earlier does too. You can kind of see how it's offset and how the height is different. This gets rid of the lift in the front, gets rid of the anti-dive, and also gives you more caster. Whiteline has other offset bushings that can give you more camber, or you can move the offset around. You can get more camber, you can get less camber, you can get more or less caster depending on how you adjust the stagger, and you can also change your roll center, all depending on how you set the eccentric. Whiteline also makes basic bushings like these anti-sway bar bushings. When the application warrants it, they have standalone bushings that have their own housings and everything. You have two-piece bushings to make installation easy. And if you have a bushing that requires a press fit, they have metal shells. A lot of the aftermarket bushings don't have this, but this has metal shells when the application needs it to maintain an OEM-like press fit. They also have adjustable suspension links with the bushings pre-installed and ready to go. A lot of these adjustable links on the market have spherical bearings on the end, which is fine if you have a race car, but it could be kind of harsh on a car that you drive on the street or a dual-purpose street track car. And the urethane is a little bit quieter and a little bit more forgiving for noise and harshness. So here's another adjustable link with an example of Whiteline's bushing engineering. This one's designed to pivot around with 3 degrees of freedom. It has solid urethane in the middle, so there's very little compliance like going in and out. But then the urethane is relieved around the sides, so the bushing can like rotate in 3 axes. That way it helps eliminate the bind, but gives you some of the stiffness of a spherical bearing, but without the noise and harshness. Maybe the last thing I'm going to talk about is urethane bushings have been known to squeak and make a lot of noise. That's a really irritating thing about a lot of them, especially if you drive in rain and you wash out the grease. Well, Whiteline bushings have features to reduce this. Like every Whiteline bushing at least has a textured inside. It's kind of like a grid. And what the grid does is it actually holds grease and retains it. So, you know, like the grease will last a really long time, probably years or more. I've never had one of these squeak. You know, like even I've had some cars where I've had these bushings for 10 years. Other Whiteline bushings have a more slippery plastic inner liner molded in. It just depends on the applications. Ones that get a lot of rotational movement get the plastic liner, and others just get the scoring. Some of the bushings also have molded in lips around the edge to kind of act like a seal to keep dirt and dust out and the grease in. You know, those are all features that Whiteline bushings have. I think I've just explained a lot of the ins and outs of performance bushings and polyurethane bushings mostly, and why I like Whiteline. Like I said, they're not the only game in town, but for the reasons I mentioned, they're my favorite, and you'll find them on most of our Moto IQ project cars. So I hope this was informative and you liked this content. So if you really like this content, please subscribe, hit a like, comment. That all helps us. Also, if you want to support us, we don't get paid to do these videos, and content costs money and time. You can become a Moto IQ member. Just click the links and make a donation, and we appreciate it. So until next time, I guess I'll be talking to you later.